Alright, let's see if third time's a charm. I, Stephanie Bain, I have a books. I'm a book nerd. There's so many books. Hello everyone, Stephanie here. Today's video is going to be my review for Flawed by Cecilia Ahern. First, Flawed is about a girl named Celestine who lives in a world where people strive for perfection. They try to appear their best, they act their best, they try to make the best calls of like judgment and all that other stuff. And if something happens though, and they see that if they lie, or if they step out of line, or if they steal, or something along those lines, they are taken to a court which is called the Guild, and it's held by Judge Crevin, Judge Sanchez, and I don't feel like searching for the last judge's name. Very irrelevant, really. But, and then they're taken in front of court, they have a trial, and they are either found flawed or non-flawed, or if they aided a flawed person and they accept the fact that they messed up, then they'll only get like prison time. But being called flawed or named flawed and getting a brand gets you a brand in either however many of 5 places. So if you have like a bad thought or like a bad judge of like judgment plan or something like that, you'd get one on your right temple. If you steal, you get one on your right hand. If you have like a bad judge, I don't know what it is for the heart, but like something like that, you get one on your chest. You get one on your tongue if you lie, and if you step out of line, you get one on the sole of your foot, and you can't hide it. Of course, like the ones that are like hidden, you can't really do anything about, but like your hand, and that cannot be covered. So these people though are discriminated against. They're not criminals. They're not murderers. They didn't, steal. Like sometimes they do steal, and the thing is, it's like a weird steal. Like they could say, oh, you stole my right to do this, and it's like, oh well, you're a flawed person. But flawed people are very limited against. They're frowned upon. They can only sit on certain places on the bus, and they can only be in so many in a group at a time, and it has a lot to do with like segregation and stuff, and I really enjoyed that. I thought it was done really well. I loved, let me just also say first though, there's one thing I kind of sort of disliked, and that was in the very beginning, it needed more. Like, things happen a little quickly. Like, I like how it really starts off, but between like the starting off and the getting going, it needed a little stuff in between, and I'll explain that in the spoilery section if you've already read it, so then maybe you have the same thing happen to you. But I felt that the story was amazing. I love how everything's played out. I gave it a 4.25 out of 5 stars. I took off 0.75 because of that like gap. Like I couldn't just give it a 4. But I was like, oh, you needed more in the beginning. But I loved where the story goes on. I love Celestine. I think she's a very relatable character, and I don't want to say why in the non-spoilery section. But if you like dystopians hidden in a utopian world, I really do recommend this. I loved it. I loved the family dynamic in this book. I loved where the plot's going, how it progresses. I thought it was a lot of fun, but it also like gets you thinking, and it's very emotional in some parts. I loved her relationship with Art. I thought it was beautiful. Like a couple pages in, like they're already dating. It's not like insta love or anything, but it was just so cute, and I really enjoyed it. But again, that's like all I can say for the non-spoilery section. If you haven't read it, go read it. I really do recommend it. I can't wait for the second freaking book, which doesn't come out till next year. But if you have read it, then stick around. I'm not going to talk, me, I don't talk about like the stuff too much, but I do have a couple things I want to talk about. So goodbye non-spoilery people, and hello spoilery people. So first, I just want to talk about the part of the book that I really did get kind of bothered by. Now, I love how it starts off. They're all sitting at the table for Earth Day, and they're waiting for the Tinders to get there. What I liked is that, but after Angelina Tinder gets taken away, like literally it's the next day that Celestine has these emotions of like, wait, and I understand it. I feel like it's justified, like her emotions and how she like goes with it and stuff like that. But I felt there should have been more between the Angelina Tinder incident and her incident on the bus with the old man whose name I already forgot. I'm sorry. It's written on my film, but I don't feel like getting it. I feel like in between that, there could have been a few chapters or like, 50 pages or so of her really starting to build, not even 50 pages. Let's say just like a week's time passes by or something like that. Because I love everything that happens on the bus. I like how she does it. She's like, no, it's not aiding a Flawed. It's not doing that. And I thought it was done really well, but I was just like, that's really quick. Her change and like stuff like that. And I understand it though, because I mean, like, she sees it, she's like, wait, it's someone I know that's being taken away by the whistleblowers. It's someone that I like, I've known my whole life, and like I spent Earth Day with, and like holidays and all this other stuff. So like, and that's her piano teacher. So it really was sad and it was heartbreaking, but again, I just needed a little more time. I loved Celestine. I love that she's not necessarily brave, but she's a hothead. And by that I mean, when they like question her or they like go against her, she's like, oh, like seriously. I can see her being like the girl that's there, and like you do something, she's like, you stupid fucking son of a bitch, something like that. And I kind of related to that, because when I get upset or something, I'm not like cursing all over the place, but I'm more quick to act on my thoughts. Or actually, I don't act on my thoughts, I just like say. And that's what she does. And other than that though, she's not a brave person. She's not like this, oh, I'm a hero. She just said what she wanted to say. And yes, people thought of her for a hero for that. And I was like, that's actually not bad. Now, in the beginning, I thought Flawed people were pretty much like criminals in a way. I didn't know until like the end, when the grandfather was talking to her saying, are you a criminal? He's like, she was like, no. And then he was like, remember, you're not a criminal. Like, you're just flawed, but you're not a criminal. And what sucks though is, I like the part where she mentions how even though she's not a criminal and they go to jail, they spend their time in jail, when they're out, it's done. But flawed people are for the rest of their lives, and for the most part I think it's just done because it goes against what the guild wants and what the government wants type thing. And it's just so like sad, like what happened to Angelina Tinder. Pissed off, her husband pissed off someone, Judge Crevin, and he gets her back. He gets him back by getting his wife. That's what I mean to say. I loved Art. I thought the whole situation with Art was interesting. I really like Carrick. I know it's kind of insta-lovey. And it's not even insta-love. It's insta attraction in the way where you could be my friend. And it kind of makes sense though, considering the fact how quickly she changed her mind and how quickly her thoughts changed, and how quickly from Angelina to the bus she decided to help and aid a flawed person. So it made sense that seeing someone in the same cell as her, someone who thought she was perfect, who deemed for perfection, who strived for it, it was to her very core, like, see someone who's around her same age and going through the same thing. It's not like, oh my god, yeah, like, you're hot, but like, who's not going to admire a specimen of build and muscle? Like, it's there, you're going to. So I actually really liked that, because it wasn't like, oh my god, I love you. No, it was like, you're here with me. And it took him some time to warm up to her, because he he sees that she has Judge Crevin and giving him a hug and all that other stuff. But I still thought it was really good, and I really enjoyed him. And I can't wait to see what happens when she goes looking for him. Oh my goodness. I love that she told the truth. I loved her mom and her dad. Her sister kind of got on my nerves at some points, but then at the end I was like, okay, it's slightly redeemed. But I adored her parents. Like, I mean, I never figured her dad would kind of be like that in the beginning. I didn't get that, like, idea from him. But I got the idea from the mom that maybe she wouldn't be happy if her daughter was branded flawed and just, like, all that stuff. But no, like, her daughter, Celestine opened her mom's eyes and made her realize that perfection fucking sucks, because you're not being perfect. You're being compliant. You're going with the flow, you're going with the government, you're doing whatever Judge Crevin tells you to do, and if you're not, you're flawed. Being flawed is a natural part of human nature. And I love that she also said that in the freaking courtroom, which is what got her deemed flawed to begin with, which is when she said, I showed compassion. She showed being a human, and the poor old man died anyway. But it's just like, it was so sad, and it was very like Rosa Parks-ish in a way, because the whole bus thing, and I didn't mind that. I absolutely loved it. Oh my goodness. Now let's get into some of the parts that I was just like, bye. The whole like branding thing would have been a little more intense if they don't actually numb the person, but it's cool. Effed up that he did her back. And the thing is I feel like he would have done that to the next person regardless. Judge Crevin would have done what he did to Celestine if it hadn't been Celestine. It's just he was already on the verge of like breaking. He's breaking because of the fact that he keeps doing and using the guild to his advantage for his own agenda, as opposed to because the person's actually flawed. And so whether it was Celestine or not, he would have done that. It just sucks that it was, what, a 17-year-old girl who was being branded on her spine. Like, really? You get what I mean? Okay, no, wait, I just understood why they do the anesthesia. Because then they don't move, and that way the brands are perfect as well. But it was just so messed up. And then Mr. Barry, he freaking recorded it, and then Carrot goes in, and then all the freaking guards are not there anymore. And even they have issues with flawed people, but they're like, seriously, this is crazy. This is too much. Like, what the hell is going on with this fucking judge? And he does it himself, and he wasn't supposed to. She was only supposed to get the top number, which is 5, but no, she was flawed to her backbone. And I was just like, oh my god, like, that was really like, what the fuck? Okay, like, what the fuck? But and then after that, when she gets home, I didn't think about this at first, but when Tina, the guard, sends her, you know, like the thing, I don't remember what the first thing was, but she sends her the snow globe. I didn't think anything of the snow globe. I was like, oh, that's kind of fucked up, but maybe it's kind of like a reminder, like, look at what happened just because you showed your kindness. But then, let's fast forward real quick. When Mr. Barry's bae husband tells her, he says, you have it. I was like, it's in the fucking snow globe. It has to be in the bottom of the snow globe, and I wanted her to take it so bad. I hope it doesn't get taken. I hope they don't think anything of it, because I'm 100% positive the fucking like USB or like SD card, whatever memory thing is in the snow globe. Why else? Why else would it have been sent? And he sent it from Tina, like, you know, like saying Tina sent it to you, so it wouldn't be suspicious. So it's not like, oh, Mr. Barry sent her a gift. So when Judge Crevin does, towards the end of the book, as you know, he goes looking for it, I'm not gonna think it's gonna be from Tina, the guard. So they're not gonna look at the stuff that she gave her. But if it was sent from Mr. Barry, Judge Crevin would be like, that globe was sent from Mr. Barry. Get it, smash it, haha, here it is. And that still might happen. I hope it doesn't, I hope it doesn't, I hope it doesn't. Anyway, whew, that, I'm just like so positive. I'm so sorry if you didn't want to know that little tidbit of information, if you didn't like think that already. But like, I freaking know it's in the snow globe. Okay, let's get back on track, Stephanie. Oh my god, no. And then the part where the freaking, what's his name? Logan? I already forgot his name too, because he's, Logan, Natasha, Gary, something like that, and Colleen, and what they do to her. I thought he was like gonna rape her or do like something atrocious. I mean, more than what he already did. But I was just like, oh my goodness. Like, and I had an inkling. That was one of those things where I did have an inkling that that was gonna happen. I was just like, oh my goodness, they're gonna do something to her. I thought it was gonna be like the whole school, and maybe they were gonna like, you know, leave her naked somewhere, but no, like he was trying to burn her, and then they were like asphyxia. Oh my god, no. That was absolutely horrible, and I hated that like he like punched her and he hit her, and it's just like, seriously, she's not contagious, you fucking idiot. And then, shocker, Pia is Lisa Life, and I wasn't expecting that. I thought like, when she brought up Lisa Life, I was like, oh crap, there's someone talking about her as a hero. And then when Celestine is mentioning how these are quote for quote things I said she knew it was her, I was like, that's so cool that Pia is the one that's freaking Lisa Life. Oh, and it's really funny because this is kind of also resembling Hunger Games in a lot of ways, but I didn't care because I thought it was done with taste. But and then the teacher, I don't feel like getting my phone, but Alpha, she's part of the freaking, like, she's a flawed sympathizer. I was just like, yes. And then she was like, she had Garrett, why am I Carrot? She had Carrick for a while. Her and her husband had Carrick for a while. And then he just left because he wants to find his family. And oh my goodness. That I was not expecting. I thought, okay, she knows him. Maybe she's trying to use, you know, Celestine for bad. But no, she's trying to use Celestine to like draw out Carrick so Carrick can come back to her because she can't have kids. And it was just like, oh my goodness. And then Judge Sanchez is like, oh, I'm gonna let you go. Because she sees she's sneaking out. She's trying to run away because she knows Judge Crevin. She wants to get Judge Crevin. So Judge Sanchez is like, oh, I just need your help. I was just like, what? Yes. Wasn't expecting that either. So yeah, I can keep talking about this for a while. But those are the things that really, really stood out in my head. What did you guys think of the book if you've read it? Again, if you're going to leave like spoilery comments down below, just put like spoiler alert and then comment. So if someone sees it, they at least see spoiler alert first and then they can just skip it. But like, did you guys like the book? Did you think it was bad? Did you think it was great? What were some of your opinions on it? Did you like everything that was like thrown into this when it comes to like actual history? And like, you know, our history in this book? I thought it was really good. I like how it was done. I thought it was done with taste. But I really, really enjoyed it. So 4.25. Can't wait for the second book. I want to know where the hell this shit's going to go. I don't even know how many books this is going to be. Maybe it'll be a duology. Maybe it's like a 5-book series. I don't know. But that is my review for Flawed by Cecilia Ahern. I liked this a whole lot more than I liked her Love, Rosie. So I'll see you guys at my next video. Have a great reading day. Goodbye.